So, how'd you get with the Dazz Band? Did you have any downtime in between, or you hopped right into that?
No, it's amazing. I tell you, man, I'm truly blessed. So we're over in England. We've been over there 8 months recording Heatwave Current, and I told Johnny this was going to be, after this record, I was going to leave the group. And my wife calls and she says, "Honey, the guy on the line, his name is Skip Martin. Do you know him?" I said, "Yeah, I know Skip." So I met Skip not when Faze-O were playing Akron. They were the Kinsman Dazz Band, and Skip was with that group. And then Satch tried to get Skip into the Ohio Players Band too. Yeah. So I get on the phone and Skip says, "Keith, we're looking for another." The group was looking for another keyboard player, but I told him we can get 2 for the price of 1. I said, because he can sing too. And he said, "Are you interested?" I said, "Yeah." So he says, can you be in Cleveland in a couple of days?" So I changed my ticket to fly to Cleveland. And I flew straight from England to Cleveland, right in the studio.
Wow.
When they were finishing up the Keep It Live record, and started working on the one.
Well, you're like a star that's on the bench. Just kidding.
I'm telling you, man. I got something to show you.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's for Let It Whip, or
Let It Whip.
Yeah.
I talk to most. When I do talk to some of the guys, they don't have their Grammy anymore. I said, "What happened, man? When I moved, I lost it. I don't know what." I said, "Are you kidding me?" So I cherish this thing, man. When I go out and speak, and the kids bring around, I mentor and do things of that nature. But when I got the call, so I flew straight from England to Cleveland, and we started recording on the one. I got some great video footage of in the studio, man, where we was at. I had Jerry curls. Mm-hmm. The whole group had Jerry curls, and they were a real fun group, man. That's what I liked about them. They're serious musicians, but they made it fun. And we had a lot of fun in Beechwood in the studio. They put me up in a hotel in Beechwood. That was some great stuff, and I'm glad we caught on footage, because Reggie Andrews was the producer then. Him and Dougal Chandler are the ones he wrote that with.
Yeah, I was reminded, and looking back at the credits recently.
Yeah.
And Dougal was on there because he had such a strong, jazz background.
Yeah.
And then he really was successful, in funk and R&B too.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So yeah. Being around them guys, man, this is when the world opened up for me in the music industry, because playing with the Dazz Band for 10, 11 years, I met a lot of people in the industry. A lot of people. And was blown away that they knew me. That was I remember you with Faze-O, man, riding out with my jam. So that was real cool,
Why do you think that the Dazz Band's sound was so successful?
Man, because here you had, it was like a singing group band. You had 3 cats out front, and the way we dressed, and the steps and the harmonies. The harmonies were so cool. And again, like I said, the musicianship, you had Steve Cox on keys, who now plays with Garth Brooks' wife, and plays with Garth Brooks. And I'm on the other side of the stage, and you had Eric Fearman on guitar, Mike Wiley on bass, Ike Wiley, his brother, on drums, Kenny Pettis on percussions, and then Skip, Pierre, and Bobby out front, 2 trumpets and a sax. So it was a big sound, you know. And then you got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singing all the time with all this energy going on stage, you know. And what was really cool, the guys, they respected me, you know. When I came to rehearsals, I would commute back and forth from Dayton. So I would drive up on Sundays and be there all week. They put me up in a hotel in Beechwood. And then come home after rehearsals on Friday and go back up on Sunday, same thing. But I would come up in sweatsuits and gym shoes. And I would come to rehearsal, and they'd come to rehearsal like leather pants, cowboy boots. Like, I thought we was going to rehearse. We are. So I had to get kind of used to that Cleveland thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a country boy, you know? So, you know, they driving in Benzos, and I'm coming up in a little 240Z.
Hey, sounds like you were comfortable, though.
I was comfortable. I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a couple of clashes, too, because, you know, one guy was co-writing a lot, and then all of a sudden the co-writing shifted because, you know, I had a lot of stuff that I wrote and submitted to the group too. So that was, you know, it was great. I mean, it was so much fun in that band, I'm telling you. Everybody was just silly. But when it came time to perform, man, did we perform.
Yeah, well, I think it definitely came out in the music, the sense of fun.
Yeah.
I probably, if I had to pick one, my personal favorite, I think, is Let It All Blow. I mean, that groove, you know, when it hits those breaks and does that little percolating thing. Whew.
But here's the cool thing about that is, I decided, okay, I'm gonna buy a keyboard, a drum machine, and a 4-track recorder. And in my hotel room, I'm just going to start recording. So me and Steve Cox were roommates. So on the drum machine, I said, I wonder how a funk groove would sound with an Indian beat. He said, what are you talking about? So I programmed a boom, 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 boom. And then I started and you got that beat. And Steve said, man, I like that. You know, then added the chord. And so Bobby right away knew. He said, something good about this. So he kind of forced his way in on the lyrics, you know. And I was like, man, what is the song Let It All Blow? What does that mean? He never could explain it. Well, you know, it's like when you just let it all blow. Because I was trying to make it like a Parliament Funkadelic group, you know, with that kind of hook.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talking heave-ho, but the groove itself, it is a good groove. Good groove. That's the biggest selling song under Let It Whip.
Well,
did you know that?
That's justified as far as I'm concerned. And the 12-inch version was really cool too.
Oh, woo! Marlon McClain was in the group then. Yeah, from Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he laid some mean guitar on that.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice when it goes to the change, that's like a Parliament groove. You know, so.
On the 12-inch, you get those spread out grooves and you really get the bottom, you know.
That's when we was using the emulators and, you know, to get the breaking of the glass and that stuff that was in there. Yeah, it's cool. So
Keith, what would you say is one or two of your most unforgettable memories, like out on the road with the Dazz Band?
Wow, you would have to ask that question.
Of course.
Wow, man, so many of them. One of the best memories is with Faze-O. We're playing and opening up for the Ohio Players in Brownsville, Texas. We were playing Red Hot Mama, and the guitar player was taking a solo, and a girl up front stood up, took her bra off, and threw it up on stage, and the guitar player hung the bra on his guitar and started playing with his teeth. Crowd went crazy. Then a guy jumped up on stage on a crutch and started hopping around. That was one. The other, with Heatwave, is when we opened up a Cameo in Pittsburgh. We were killing it. And they pulled the light, they turned the lights on us. Because we were killing it so tough. Cameo had them turn the lights on. That was a memorable one.
I've heard other stories similar related to Cameo like that.
Yeah. One of the others was with the Dazz Band. Wow, the Dazz Band was a lot of them, man. Overseas and in the States. It's just so many with them because I was, besides Faze-O, I was with them the longest, but with them on a bigger platform than with Faze-O. Because we were opening up for Kool and the Gang, learned a lot from what their perspective was in live performances. We, touring to France, and just all over, man, all over the world. That's one of the biggest things too, being able to tour all over the world. Japan, oh man, we stayed in Japan, played at this place called the IMSA Club. It didn't even look like a club, it was like a stadium club. That's how huge it was. And we packed that place every night that we played. So those are memorable moments. There's some memorable moments in the studio. I'm actually working on a memoir, which is going to be entitled Riding High, My Journey with Faze-O, Heatwave, and the Dazz Band by Keith Harrison.
Right.
And I'll talk about all of these things that you're asking because I'll be better prepared and have more time to think about, because I have someone like yourself asking me the questions and new things about the group that will bring it out of me.
Yeah.
But with the Dazz Band, it's just so much. It's hard to tell you what was good. It was just good.
Let me ask you this, Keith. Was there anyone that you really admired in the industry during your playing days, that was maybe another keyboard player or a composer that you were just like kind of in awe of?
Working with Jeff Lorber. Jeff Lorber's one. Going to the studio, meeting George Dukes and Jeffrey Osborne, watching them work on some music. Of course, Rod Temperton, meeting Quincy Jones, and after the Dazz Band and those groups, I went out and played with Morris Day and the Time. That was interesting, being able to meet Prince. And when we played at Boulder Station in Vegas, and Prince came out and jammed with us.
How did you connect with Morris Day and the Time?
I'm at home, I get a call, and a guy's on the phone. It was their manager. He says, "This is so-and-so, and I'm the manager of the most magnificent band, blah, 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 blah. And we're looking for a keyboard player. Are you interested?" And I said, "Man, who is this?" And then I heard him say, Jelly Bean, he don't believe me. So I knew Jelly Bean. So Jelly Bean, Bean gets on the phone. Chop, chop, this is Bean. I said, Bean, is this really? He said, yeah, man. I said, what's going on? He said, look, man, we need another keyboard player. I told him about you were recommended to us. He said, you down? I said, yeah. I said, well, when will I have time to rehearse? He said, you professional, aren't you? And I kind of paused and I said, yeah, hell yeah. He says, well, I'm going to put you back on the phone with the manager. So the manager said, we playing in Indianapolis. We want you to come to Indianapolis and watch the show from backstage and then get on the bus and go and head to the next gig. Because the keyboard player they had filling in at the time played with Frankie Beverly and Mays. And Frankie was going back out, and he was going back out with Frankie Beverly and Mays.
About what year was it?
This was in 95. And so I played with them 95 and 96 for 2 years. And then some bad things happened where I said, I can't do this no more. And then I went back out with them in 2015 to do the Soul Train cruise. And that's the last time I did anything with Morris Day and the Time. I also did some dates with the group Low Key out of Kansas. You know, they had the big hit, I got a thing for you, baby. Take my life. Da, 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 da. So that was cool with them. And of course, I did some dates with Ohio Players. So I've had a great, I played on the song Cutie Pie that Dayton made in the studio, which was a big hit for them. I've been around the block, man. I've done a Sprite jingle for the Soul Train Awards, Coca-Cola. Here in Dayton, the Dayton Air Show in the 80s, I wrote all the background music when they televised it on Channel 7 here. And sometimes you'd be sitting down and you're thinking about things and, wow, I did that. And then you didn't remember, So now here I am today, man. It's wonderful. I had my bout with prostate cancer and had surgery in 2015.
And you're all clear now?
I said, I ain't done with you. I had to take 8 weeks of radiation the next year, and now I'm on a Lupron shot every 6 months. I got to take for 2 years. But I'm good.
What would you say, Keith, was the most challenging music you ever had to play out of all of that? What was sort of the most, musically challenging for you?
The most challenging for me was with the Time Band. Because I had, even though in the Dazz Band I played 3 boards, but the music was different. Band, you had to play double bass lines, string lines, and horn parts, and sing, and do certain types of steps too. So for me, that was the most hardest with that group.
Was Morris a character off stage, or was he like away from the
Morris
stage?
Was always in character.
Yeah,
always in character. He's a funny guy. I laugh at him, because I always looked at myself as like the grandfather when I would get called out with these groups. I'm 65 years old, so these guys were still young, and just to see how they acted and stuff like that was kind of funny to me,
What would you say, Keith, is the well, first, before I ask you that, let's talk about the latest record. So we mentioned at the outset, One Love. What took you so long, and what are you? How far back do some of these tracks go? And Why are you excited about it?
Well, for years, my wife has been asking me to do a solo CD. And I kept telling her, I said, baby, it's not as easy as you think. I said, because when you've played in bands majority of your career, it's like a team. You depend on one another. When you step out on your own, it's just you. And it came about when my father was on his deathbed, and I got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and my spirit came to me and said, the time is now. And so, what do you mean the time is now? I said, time is now for you to do your solo CD. Now I'm thinking I'm about to clock out. So I said, I gotta get busy. And songs just, I got with my longtime co-writing partner, Sanford Whitlow, and songs just started popping. And I said, well, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? He says, whatever your heart and soul desires. And I said, well, R&B soul is what's in me. So I'm going to do an R&B soul CD about one-on-one relationships, about love. And put a little bit of flavor of all the groups that I played with into the sounds of One Love, the title track. You hear sounds a little like Heatwave. Come to My Dance is like Faze-O Dazz Band. Cardiac, another step line dance song. Saturday Night Love, I wrote that about my wife. There's only one song that was written in 1995 that we were trying to submit to Ronald Isley. We never got it to him. I said, well, I'm gonna put it on my CD. And that's the one called Lonely for Your Love. They don't even play ballads that slow anymore. But I knew it would touch the women. And so when people would come over and I would preview it, they was like, wow, who is that? They didn't believe it was me singing, because I always sung backgrounds and standout vocals on the groups that I played with. So the time was, it felt good. And I'm excited because I'm doing me for once. Before you would write what the group was about, but now I can write what Keith is about.
Yeah, I'm looking at I have the press materials here, and what is the now sound then that you have on here?
The now sound is it's like a mixture of old school, new school. The now sound, like Charlie Wilson, I would say, is a now sound. He's still got the Charlie Wilson, but he's got some new school sounds in it, So I didn't quite go all the way with the new sounds like that, but they are sounds that I think people would like. Did you get a chance to listen to any of it?
I did. It was very, very good. I would say that, come to with an open mind. Don't be expecting, like a funk throwdown based on some other stuff. It's got, a couple of more up-tempo danceable tracks, but the rest of it is either sort of mid to ballad territory.
Yeah. But,
smooth, sensual, just kind of the nice kind of thing to put on in the evening and get your groove on.
Well, my next CD is going to be an all-funk CD. And the title of that one is going to be called Smell the Funk. So it'll be a nose with a finger like this. And it is going to be funk.
Well, I hope we're not going to have to wait 30 or 40 years for that one.
Oh, no. I'm on a roll now. I'm on a roll. I'm actually writing some of that stuff now. I'm on a roll. I got to get all this stuff. I got so much in me now. It feels like weights have been lifted off my shoulders, because I feel free that I can do me now, and it's acceptable. You know, another reason it took so long, Rod Temperton had told me when I was with Heatwave that I didn't have a voice for radio. And that messed with me mentally. And the reason it messed with me mentally because I respected how great of a person he was because of the songs that he wrote for people, you know. And I had that mental block for a long time.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, look at what happened with your dad. You know, you proved him wrong, right? So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And unfortunately, my dad passed before I completed my CD. But you know, I got on the back of the CD. It's in memory of him. I dedicate that CD to him.
well, congratulations again. I wish you all the best luck with it. And I really look forward to the next one too.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, so speaking of funk, Keith, what do you think it is about it that gets into people's DNA like it did with me when I was, you know, a kid? What is it about it that endures, and what is it about that makes it so special? What does it mean to you?
It's you know, it's the rhythm and the beats of funk, and it just touches the soul. You know, you can't help but bob your head or pat your foot when you hear some funk music. And, you know, we can go all the way back to James Brown. You know, look how many rappers sampled his stuff. So we have constantly been hearing funk subliminally, whether it's in other people's music or in music that we all as artists and groups have done. What it means to me, it means that here you have a feel that's likable around the world. And you were gifted with this feel that people enjoy to hear. So it's like when I go to play my keyboards, it's not like I'm thinking about what I want to play. It's like my hands just do it. Mm. And I'm always rolling tape anytime I'm putting an idea down. You know, I got one called The Funky Swim. You know, it's a funky swim song. Yeah, for me, I think for people, it's just a feel that touches the soul that they can. I mean, did you get to check out the American Music Awards?
I missed it, but I did. I haven't heard great things.
The thing that was really weird wasn't one black artist on the whole night. So
I kind of suspected as much, yeah.
But you had these. The funk has crossed over,
right?
And so that's saying something about that sound, that feel, because now the pop artists are trying to imitate it. You know, when people say, well, what distinguishes pop from R&B? Well, pop just means that you're popular, and through the years you just had more white artists who were more popular than the black artists. You know, and I think that's because music wasn't being played in places it could be played. But I think it's shifted now, and it's made a big shift. Bruno Mars, look at Bruno Mars, man, great job. And even in this story, he's telling you, I studied James Brown, the Princes, the Michael Jacksons. You know what I'm saying? I've listened to, and the Roger Troutmans. I mean, when Roger came with the talk box over that funky groove, oh man, that just, now look at all the talk box stuff that's out there. But Peter Frampton and all them were doing the talk box way before
Joe Walsh, yeah.
Joe Walsh, yeah. You know, so, but it just wasn't prevalent as it was in a funk group, you know. Matter of fact, that's what we laying on the track, the me and Steve Shockley's working on this evening is a talk box. So he wants the talk box in this song. So
have you heard Bootsy's new album?
Yes, yes.
There's a song in there called Pusher Man. It's got a killer talk box in it.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, even though then the critics are going to say, well, you know, the talk box has been around and this is kind of, they don't understand it's a part of the sound for music, you know, that has been incorporated, and it's going to be around a long time. I mean, it's like, I think auto-tune got wore out.
I was just going to say, I prefer a talk box to the auto-tune.
Right, and people prefer a talk box sound than an auto-tune sound, because auto-tune sounds too much robotic, where a talk box doesn't. And you know, funk music is just, man, it's just in you. It's just in you, whether you know, I grew up on James Brown and Sly and the Family Stone. Those are my heroes of music for me growing up. Even what was those brothers' name? They had a song called "Wake Up, Little Susie."
Everly Brothers.
The Everly Brothers. I like them. You know, to me, they had a funk kind of thing to them on some of their songs.
Oh, you can find funk in so many places.
Yeah. And I think it's just the label we've used to call this music.
Keith, if I was a keyboard player, whether I'm just kind of learning or maybe I've been playing a while, but if I came to you and I said, you know, what are some of the characteristics or approach you need to take to be able to play keyboards in a funky way?
I think it just has to be in you, because so many people are trying to emulate it and can't. To teach it would be hard because it's a certain feel. Sometimes it's not right on the beat. It's kind of off the beat, on backbeat. And funk is laid back, you know, on the beat, than right on the beat. So, and I don't think it's so much the chord that makes the difference. It's how it's played. So I could lay a groove down probably in 15 minutes with all the parts: drums, keyboards, bass, and a melody part. That's how perfected I've gotten at it, you know, because it just comes in my head. Boom, you know, the light bulb goes on. Keith, I need a track. Can give me a track in 24 hours. You got it. What are you looking for? Kind of like a Teddy Riley, blah blah, so. Boom.
So then, is the hardest part to it writing good lyrics?
Yeah. I pat myself on the back that I can come up with good tracks and great hooks. And then I'm kind of done. All right, you put the verses to it, and here's the melody I'm hearing for the verse. You know, me is track and hooks, tracks and hooks.
So, you know, the show is called Truth and Rhythm, and we're seeking rhythmic truth through this program. What to you, when you're making music, speaks to you as being the truth, finding the essence in the music and the truth of it?
The truth in music for me is that, you know, me and Steve got in this discussion last night. I said, why do people fight playing with sequence music and live music? I said, top groups like Earth, Wind, Fire have been doing it for years. It just does. It's not real, man. And he said, it's not the truth. I said, why not? You still playing. You're just playing along with some production, you added to your music. You just, all you did was, what you're doing is taking what you do in the studio to make stuff fat live, and you're using it with technology. So what's the difference? It's still you. So the truth to me is, as long as it's you and you're doing it, whether it's from a sequence or live or together, it's you. And to me, that's telling the truth about what you do. Now, if you're sitting up there and you're mimicking things, or you're faking it, that's not so much, the truth of the music that you do. So putting your soul and heart into something, whether it be electronically or non-electronically, I think that's what is true.
How do you feel about sampling?
Sampling, I think people who sample are just as great too, because I could never take something and sample it and make it into a song. I mean, you have to be, those people who can take bits and pieces of songs, bits and pieces of other people's songs and make them into one song, have to have some kind of genius to them. Because I tried and it's hard to do for me. That's only because I'm a realist musician, and they are people who can't play but have an ear that can put tracks together of other people's songs to make it into a song.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, that.
Yeah.
Is there you mentioned Bruno Mars. Is there anyone else out today that you kind of like, that you think is on to something?
Oh, wow. Bruno kind of the one that sticks out the most, that came out the box. I admire Taylor Swift. I've actually studied Taylor to see how she's worked with social media. What Taylor did. Here's a young lady who played, had a guitar and did a YouTube video saying country and western. And lyrically, it touched a certain audience. A guy from a record label, I think it was that BMG, saw her, took her under his wing, and it's kind of turned her into a star. But she kind of turned herself into a star, because what she did was she answered all the tweets. Her fans tweeted her. And she invited fans to her house. A lot of artists, when they blow up, they don't want to be bothered with you when they're on their own time. But she invited them. So what she did, she kind of came into people's. It's sort of like when Kenny G came on the scene. He touched all the housewives. Remember that?
Yeah.
The housewives were the ones that said, I love his music, because while they home cleaning up, they listened to some Kenny G. And he blew up behind it. So Taylor Swift has done it from a social media way. And you got to be, for me as a old school guy, I'm not going to I don't sit around and tweet all day. Or that's something my daughters have been teaching me to learn. Dad, you got to do it. You got to put stuff out there. You got to stay connected. And I'm still used to kind of the old school way, where you have people working for you. Mm-hmm. But now, when artists do it, it makes it more personable, because with the technology, they can go on Facebook or message or tweet or Instagram or
it's direct.
Yeah, it's direct. It's direct. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, you can do it.
I
Have
know.
faith. So you're involved at some level in the Funk Center and Funk Museum, is that right? Or
Yeah, I sit on the advisory board, and the Funk Center. I don't know when the grand opening is going to be, but it's downtown Dayton now. And once it opens up, we're going to try to have a computer room where I'll be teaching music and computers using technology, teaching kids how to use music software. Those are one of the classes I would do in the summer at summer camps and stuff like that.
Well, that's a very cool cause, and I'm looking forward to that opening soon.
Yes, yes. I've donated some real good Faze-O stuff, you know, my belt, my clavinet, my RMI.
Some of those big
Suit.
collar tops.
Yeah.
So Keith, as we look back, and we're going to close this out, what are you most proud about, and do you have any regrets, and is there anything left yet still to go on your bucket list?
Oh, wow. I'm most proud that I'm able to still do music and hopefully be able to touch people's hearts and souls through my music. The regret I have is staying in Dayton. But for certain circumstances, you know, my wife got sick and stayed here and took care of my family. That's one of the reasons I came off the road too. In '92, that's when I came off. And but as I look back on it, I kind of don't regret it because Dayton has done so much good for me. I got inducted into the Walk of Fame here, where they give you a paver in a historical district of your work in the sidewalk. And I look at that and that's like, man, that's a legend. That'll always be there. I'll be dead and gone. My grandkids, they'll grow up and they'll be dead and gone. And that will always be there. So I made my mark and left my print here in Dayton, which is good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never been. I hope to one day, and when I do, I'll definitely look out for that.
And when you come to Dayton, you can stay here at my house. You're welcome, and eat some good food, and you know, we'll take care of you.
Wow, that's quite an offer. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
So Keith, we were talking about the whole Taylor Swift thing. So how can everyone keep up with you nowadays and keep up with everything Keith Harrison and the new record and all that good stuff?
Well, everybody can keep up with me. They can go to my website, www.dkharrison.com. That's one way. Look for my tweets. They can go I'm on all the digital download outlets. I'll be doing some touring next year in 2018. I'll be doing some radio spots. Hopefully, my music will start being played on radio. One of the songs that I'm pushing is Cardiac, which is starting to pick up because people are creating line dances off that song. Yeah. So, and through social media, they can go to my Facebook page, hit me up, and I'll become friends with them. They can Instagram me, and I'll just keep pumping and pushing information out there as much as I can, to the best that I can, with the money I have.
That's a little caveat, right? I got to tell you though, Keith, the new website looks great. It's really, really well done.
We're still developing it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you really like it. You really like the music.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's you know when you hear a pro. First of all, you know.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Honor.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing it. And
Thank you.
again, wish you all the luck with it. And
Okay.
look forward to the funk coming.
All right. The funk will be coming next. Smell the funk.
like in the car that day with Faze-O.
Yeah. You saw it. Riding back from Atlanta.
There you go.
Riding down the highway.
All right. Well, hang tight. I'm going to close this out, but
Okay.
Stay put.
All right.
So time to wrap up this edition of Truth and Rhythm. A huge thanks to my special guest, Keith Chop Chop Harrison, a key Dayton, Ohio funkster who helped spread the music far and wide. Thanks again so much, Keith, for sharing all those experiences and your history and everything.
My pleasure.
Much appreciated.
All right.
A sincere thank you to listeners. As always, thanks for keeping the faith and keeping the funk. Be sure to look out for upcoming Truth and Rhythm episodes and catch up with old installments at funkinstuff.net on YouTube, iTunes, and other leading providers. Want to hear from you? Drop me a line at scottg@funkinstuff.net. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, who else you might like to see on the show. And so with that, until next time, on behalf of Mr. Keith Harrison, this is Scott Dr. Jake Goldfine, as always, saying keep on vibrating to the rhythm of the one.
One love.